at this. All right. Look at this. You know, what the hell would you be doing if we won? And I love you. And I love you. Well, I want to congratulate the next Senator of Massachusetts, Martha Coakley. She ran a good campaign, and it was a good, clean campaign, and I want to congratulate her. I'm going to be there to make her the next senator between now and January, and when she gets elected, we're going to work hard to make sure she's successful. It's important to all of us. And I really want to thank all of you. This campaign has been pretty amazing. Stop and think about it. 2.5 months from 0 to 100 miles an hour across this state. What we did is pretty darn amazing. We built an organization across the state. We couldn't catch up. Simply put, others were ahead of us. We did our best to narrow that gap and to move forward. But in the final analysis, name recognition matters. The Attorney General was a pretty good candidate. She didn't make any slip-ups, and we just couldn't narrow the gap. But I will tell you, never in my life have I been so proud to stand with so many good friends and to make so many new ones. I will tell you that, honestly, the people in this room have worked harder for me than anybody else has ever done. And I will tell you, it means so much to me. Some of you have been supporters of mine for 30 years. 30 years. Some of you are new. But I'll tell you that going forward, we will always be together because there's one thing. There's one thing that we've done consistently, and that's to keep adding and keep building and keep bringing in new friends. And I'll tell you that it's been an amazing time for me, not just for this race. It's been an amazing time for me to build up to this. It is amazing to me that I actually am standing here as a serious candidate for the United States Senate. You all know that. And I think that's part of the attraction to many people in this room, is that a lot of us know that people don't expect us to do these kinds of things. They kind of think that you're supposed to follow a certain track in life, and some of us do, but some of us don't. And I think that's really what this is all about. It's not about being anointed. It's not about coming down from on high. It's from working up from the bottom up. And that's what so many of you have done in your own lives, and so many of you have done with me and my family. And I also want to take a minute to particularly thank my family. Some of you have watched as my sons, who've literally took their first steps, both of them in a campaign headquarters, to now traveling the state on my behalf and winning me votes. It's makes you feel old sometimes, but at the same time, it's a great thing to do. And my wife made her first political speech on this campaign. And I know that most of you know that for her, that is truly a labor of love. I also want to thank all the people that stood up, that had something to lose to some extent. My union friends. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I've been proud to be your friends up until now, and I will be proud to be your friends to the fires of hell. You have been fantastic, family. You really have. And I'll tell you, for 11 years in Congress, you've never had to call me, and I guarantee you, you will never have to call me to be with you. I will be with you every step of the way because you built the middle class, and we're going to keep the middle class. And to my political friends, especially the new ones, I want to tell you how much I appreciate it because there's no need. The easiest thing for a politician to do is to duck. That's the easiest thing to do. And for those of you who stood up and stood with us, especially those of you who didn't really know me too well, you're now in a new family that you can never get out of. And I'll tell you, we don't forget our friends. And that's the thing that you learn as you go along. You learn who the good ones are and you learn who the big shots are. The good ones are the ones who stand with you when you need them. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Every time you need me, I'll be with you. Every single time. Because none of us forget those of us who've stood with us. And those who do forget, I think are the ones that make politics give it a bad name. There's nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, there's everything good about standing with your friends in the middle of a fight when they need you. Not when they don't need you. That's all well and good. Everybody can do that. And for the many of you who've showed up, especially the young people, we've had a fair number of young people come into this campaign. Some of them for the first time, some of them for maybe the second time that they've been involved in a campaign. But for the fair number of young people that are involved with this, I hope you learned something from it. Because I'll tell you, this is not the first time I've lost a campaign. I've won and I've lost. And I'll be honest, winning's better. You know? But every time I've run a campaign, I've learned lessons. Lessons that are good and bad. Some of the things that I've done that I didn't like, some of the things about me that I liked. And over time, you really test yourself with it. Every time you go through a campaign, whether it's for yourself or for others. And it's really something that's worth learning, and it's really something that's worth doing. And especially for the younger people, some of us who've been through this before, we know there'll be another campaign tomorrow, and we'll jump in it again tomorrow because it's the way to make the world a better place. But for the young people, I really want you to know, please, I'm begging you, don't get discouraged. Because what ends up happening, okay, you'll learn something from this campaign, and you'll carry it on to the next one. Because you're the future here, guys. You are the future, and we need you to be involved. We need good young people. And I mean it. I mean it. And for my mother, who just had her 90th birthday, Mom, I was looking for a better present. I was trying to give you a better present, but, you know, it is what it is. 90 is not a bad present in and of itself. I don't think I could top that no matter how you look at it. And I really want to thank particularly the campaign staff that's worked incredibly hard. I mean, Roger Lau, where are you, Roger? I don't even know where he is. In the back. There he is, hiding. Come on up there. Come on, come on. You know, some of you think that I am a driven person. You've never met Roger. He makes me look sane and calm. I will tell you that here's a guy, and for those of you who don't know, he had just landed a job in Washington. He had just moved to Washington. And against any smart advice he got, he decided to come back here and do this with us. And that is incredible. And I've been doing this all my adult life, and I can't tell you that I kind of thought I had seen it all. I hadn't. Roger taught me an incredible amount of lessons that I've learned on how to be a better campaigner and how to be a better candidate and how to be a better person. Roger, thank you. Thank you. And the other person that I really want to mention in particular is my good friend, and some of you know, but I have never had anybody else put as much into one of my campaigns other than my family. I've never had anybody else put as much into my campaign as Paul Train put into this campaign. Now, he's another one that makes me look sane and calm. I know, it's tough to do. But I tell you, and there are so many other people in this room that have been with me so many times, and so many good people that worked hard for me and really delivered. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I can only tell you thank you very much. And I will tell you one thing. As I go back to the House, first of all, my district now includes the entire state. I have the largest congressional district in the country. First of all, any one of you, I'm more than welcome, not only welcome, invited to call me anytime for anything. I will do anything I can to help you. And second of all, I will tell you one other thing. Regardless, not that we're going to agree on everything, but I will promise you what I've always promised you. I will stand up for what I believe in. I will make you proud of me, even when we disagree. You will not be sorry to have been my friend and to be my friend. I will fight as hard as I can for everything we believe in, for health care, for war and peace, and I will fight hard not just against people who are easy to fight against, but I will also fight to make sure that our friends, some of our better friends, people we generally agree with, don't make mistakes that cost this country something that we can't afford. And I will tell you that as I go back to Washington, I don't know, tomorrow or Thursday, I don't know when I'm going back, but whenever I go back, get my voting record back up again. As I go back to Washington, I go back with a renewed interest in new issues. I can't tell you how many important issues I heard. I will tell you, it's just kind of funny. In the last day, I don't know if you followed it, but President Obama has adopted the very plan that we proposed 3 weeks ago to use the TOP money to create jobs. This is money that we've already done. And we're going to work to get that done. And I'll tell you right now that I'm going to work with everything I have to correct what I think is some errors we're about to make in Afghanistan. That can't be done. We can't do this. We can't do this. Just today, I haven't seen the details yet, but just today it looks like the Senate first of all stopped the Stupak amendment that we talked about so much. As I said they would. And second of all, now seems to have come up with some sort of a proposal, and I haven't seen the details, so I don't know how I feel about it yet, but some details to move the health care issue forward, which is, I think, a critically important thing to do, and I hope it works so we can get to a conference committee as soon as possible. This week, when we go back, we're going to be voting on financial services regulation. which is another critically important issue. I'll tell you right now, these issues, as I said during the campaign, the issues don't just exist in the Senate, they exist in the House as well. We'll be there to fight them. We'll be there to fight for you on every one of these issues, and we'll be there to fight for you next week, next year, the next decade, because we're going to keep Congress in the hands of the Democrats, we're going to keep the White House in the hands of the Democrats, and we're going to make sure that this United States Senate seat stays in the hands of the Democrats. And I'm going to end where I've always started, by telling you how much I appreciate your friendship, your support, and your love, and by giving it right back to you as best I can, and to also tell you the only promise I've ever made. I'll work harder than anybody else you know. I'll be upfront with you. I'll be honest. And when we're on the same side, I'll be the best friend you've ever had. And when we're not on the same side, there'll be another one the next day. We'll be on the same side again, as some people in this room have known for a long time. So with that, I'm simply going to say, again, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my soul, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your support. And you make me proud. You make me proud. And now, I'm going to have two things. I'm going to get a drink, and then I'm going to get some sleep. And I hope that you all do the same thing. Thank you all very much.